Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Here we go. Hello, everyone. We're having some fun times this morning.
Technical difficulties.
Literally, just as we went live, my computer decided that it didn't want to recognize that any audio devices exist. So hey,
David,
but got it working. Yeah. What's up?
I'm very disturbed by this, but you're missing your cat on hat and duck on boat and goat with coat.
Oh no.
They're all gone. What happened to them?
They're in a different scene.
That makes me sad.
I'm sorry.
So, what happened this week, David?
I literally don't know.
It was
Sorry,
an
here.
an interesting one.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Relay Station. Unfortunately, due to some last-minute issues, I wasn't able to fabricate a lovely intro for you all. So instead, I will say welcome to episode year 2020, episode 20
Ish?
20 something
25, 26?
25 or 26. We're
Somewhere in there.
Look, it's been an interesting year. We're now working on sorting out the episode things because
Yeah, we'll get there.
Jake, yes, this is what happens when you're not on the show. Why don't you come on the show? Yeah. Hey everyone. Let's do this. We've got like 2 weeks of news to cover. So
Yeah, I apologize for not having a show last week. It just didn't work for anybody, really. But here we are, and we have a lot of stuff to pack into 90 minutes.
Yep.
We have 2 commercials, one for 310 and one for The Rock, and 2 new ships to talk about, one of which being a ship with wheels. And 2 episodes of ISC and 1 episode of Star Citizen Live, because it actually had things to talk about.
How are you doing over there in Japan land, Shiver?
It's too hot.
Yeah, I
That sounds
feel that.
accurate. Oh my. Yes, it is. What did you say? It's nighttime there, and it's 27.
Oh, what's it like in the day?
37.
Oh, that's way too damn hot. Especially because it's probably humid there too.
Yes, 83%.
Oh my
But who's
god.
counting?
That sounds like Ottawa.
No, it's called Japan.
Oh.
So nothing like Ottawa. Very different.
Very
syllables.
similar. Very similar.
Is our bot working for questions?
It should be. Bot should be working. Okay, well let's get this show on the road, as they say. And where's my videos? Where'd my videos go? No, I wanted this one. Sorry. There we are. Video.
Hey, there we go. We can only see half of Shiver's head. I like it. Hey, we can only
There's a
see.
lot of head.
I can only see a third of my head, so that's probably good. Experimental aeronautics. What the hell does that mean?
This is them trying the 3.10. How do I say that?
3.10.
3.10?
That's how they've been saying it.
I really don't like saying 3.10.
You just
Okay.
said it.
I know, and I don't like saying it. Like, it should be Yeah.
Well, really, they should never go above 3.9, but
Yes.
things have gone awry. Oh my god. I have to say, are you sure this is the right episode? By the way,
This is the previous episode.
interesting.
This is last week's.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it
Did I not watch last week's episode? I'm sure I did.
It's well, they were talking about the PTU.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember. My brain's
And
not working.
how it went to PU.
Yeah. By the way, flying feels really good in the
The
game
new
right
flight
now.
model, you
As
like
long-
it?
Yeah, I do actually a lot. It's really cool too when you're trying to mine and shit, and you're totally stable, and then like a gust of wind comes along, and you're like, "Fuck!" You're like blown away. Oh, yeah, it's more challenging. Like you really have to have you have to actually think, like exert fine control over your ship. It's good, but then of course it also makes areas like moons without much atmosphere a lot easier to mine. For example, because you don't have to constantly adjust for the wind and so on. It's interesting. I've been doing a lot of mining, by the way, so that's what I'm referring most of my things back to.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot this week, right?
Oh yeah, in the last 2 weeks I've played probably 12, 15 hours, something like that. The other thing that I've really noticed, and I think they need to fix a little bit, is the thruster power is a little low right now on the Prospector, and now there's wind that's actually significantly affecting its flight. Landing in New Babbage with the Prospector is an adventure. Because you have to land in the
Daunting
hangars.
prospect.
Yes, a very daunting prospect. Yeah, it seems to always give you the hangars that are in the sides, so you have to go down and then in. And when you try and go in, the winds that are like buffeting around the side of the building hit you and knock you back out of the bay. It's really hard. I managed to do it successfully like twice, and I was very proud of myself. No, I did it 3 times. But each time it was like, oh my god, I
So
landed it
3
without
out of 5
destroying
times
it.
you're successful.
Yes. Roughly. But yeah, it was great. I'm quite happy with the changes they've made.
That's good.
mean,
I
this
know
is
they've
the
been.
thing.
The biggest problem with the game right now is that the servers are unstable.
I think they're
That's-
still trying to get the flight model to be at least in as close a perfect state as they can for Squadron 42, obviously.
Mhm.
No, and from the outside in, you might be thinking, they're still working on this fucking flight model, which is basic to Squadron 40. It's like, well, yeah. But the advantage of the way that they've done the construction of the game is they can literally just take this brick out of the wall, fiddle with the brick, see, now how does that work? And then slide the brick back into the rest of the game whilst everyone else is working on the wall.
Mhm.
And then the wall comes tumbling down because someone's removed
Then
one
we rebuild the
essential
wall.
brick.
I mean,
And then
I
they're
would.
like, oh, shit.
I wouldn't say that the flight model is just a brick. I'd say that the flight model is like probably the first
it's-
4 rows of bricks along the entirety of the wall.
It was more of the analogy of, the modular construction of the game, of
Yeah.
being able to take out or just work on this one particular section whilst everyone else can work on the remaining sections, put the section back in and see what happens.
Another thing that was noticed, I'm not sure if it was even in the patch notes, but interdictions are back in the game. Currently, they are not particularly worrisome because you can just fly away from them. but they are back.
There's still so many things like interdictions that I wonder how they're gonna work when space is so vast. Like,
They already told you. You gotta go back and listen to Tony Zervek speak, and then you'll know again.
I know, but there's still so much of the
Probability volumes, my friend.
but it just means that they won't work until they have the id or whatever they're calling them.
Yep. I know, but though they won't work in the way that they want them to, not fully until Quantum is online and working properly. But a lot of that's back to honestly, a lot of it, the NPCs, a lot of it traces all back to the server. The servers aren't working very well right now because they don't have their server tech is not where they need it to be, and so the NPCs don't do what they're supposed to because all their tasks are delayed on the server, and you know, these interdictions and the prices of things, all of it, anything that ties back to the server is not working properly.
Really need server meshing. Like,
Yep.
really need server meshing.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's one of the hardest bits of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. I hate to say it, but even that's not going to be like the magic wand that suddenly solves every single issue. It's going to solve some issues and then create entirely new ones.
Well, and not only that, but they're not going to the dynamic server meshing immediately. They're going to static server meshing next, which is basically each area in the world always has a server, and it never changes. The size of the area that the servers cover don't change, you know, so on and so forth.
Which, I mean, it's an improvement, but it's still not what they need.
No, but it will allow them to massively improve player counts, right?
Yes.
Because they'll be able to have, instead of one server handling all of the Stanton system, they can have one server handling New Babbage, you know, and then, you know, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's interesting. The game, I mean, I played the game for 12 or 15 hours. You can play it. You do have 30Ks occasionally. I actually ran into that error finally. I haven't had it a lot, but I understand why people hate it so much, because you'll just be like going along with some incredibly expensive cargo, and then the game disconnects, and you're like, well, damn.
I was originally
Random.
I was originally planning on hopping in with 3.10 when it went live, but I've realized just over there, I'm trying to build a new PC, and would it be nice to load it up with, like, not running it on low for frame rate reasons. So I decided I'm going to wait.
That's fair.
Apparently, I haven't bothered because I'm not the sort of person that thinks I need low. I always just hit very high on any game and then just adjust. But apparently, Star Citizen, the way that Star Citizen does it is if you start lowering your settings, it handles more things on the CPU than the GPU.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, which makes sense.
One thing I did notice is I think I talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, because that's the game I was playing at the time. But I did manage to get into a fresh server at one point, and holy man, does a game ever play well when the server is running properly. I was getting 50 FPS in New Babbage, which is like
Unheard
ludicrous. And it was smooth as butter, and it felt really good. And then the server started bogging down once all the players joined in. So I kind of got a glimpse of how well it can play if the servers are running properly, and it is. I think it's there. It's, you know, the future's there. It's just we have to continue to be patient beyond the 7 years we've been patient so far.
8? Aren't we approaching 8?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends if you joined up during the Kickstarter or not. But yeah, it's been good. I had a lot of fun playing. Managed to actually like mine and then come back and sell what I mined and make money and buy a new laser and for my prospector, and you know, it's coming along. One of the things that's weird that isn't in the game right now, at least as far as I can find, is I think that's part of what the building blocks thing is all about in the inventory stuff that we've seen, but there's no like ship inventory right now. So that's kind of weird.
I'm really liking the like dirt and stuff on the weapons as they
Uh-huh. Really like that Gemini
where they're actually it's
weapon
not
there.
just a pre-made model that someone's gone, you know, well, this is the model when it's completely new, and now I just bring in this dirt texture and just apply it all over it. It's not that. It's an actual shader effect where they've got particles and crap being applied to the weapon. So it's not going to be this 1 to 0 type thing. It's going to be a gradual thing. It will be just different parts of the weapon. It will be different kinds of dirt. And you think to yourself, that's stupid, but it's so nice.
I mean, it is stupid, but yeah, it's kind of nice.
I really like this this rifle. A lot of the weapons are just awesome. I think they're, and I know you're concerned about how many weapons there are, but now we're starting to see lots, and I think that there's going to be tons in the final game.
Yeah. It's a problem that's slowly fixing itself.
Mm-hmm. It's like we were always worried for a long time about how many ships there are going to be in the game. Well, damn. The answer is somewhere north of 150 now.
I mean, we were worried about that.
That was the thing with weapons. Eris was easily triggered.
Oh dear.
Lighting is pretty.
So, lighting is pretty. I like lighting. So,
well, I mean, speaking of
Go
lighting,
ahead.
this is going to be the generation of ray tracing. So,
Yes.
lighting is going to be something to look at for everything. Everything is going to just up the bar on lighting up. So
I feel a little bad for the Star Citizen devs with the ray tracing thing, is because it just sort of popped up on them midway through their development, and I know that there's somebody over there who's like, we have to do this now.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn it.
I would like to know, because my knowledge is quite limited on ray tracing itself as a tool. But from the way that Star Citizen devs explained how they were doing lighting, it seemed incredibly similar to how ray tracing works, except they're having to do it the old-fashioned way of, okay, let's get coding.
I don't think it's exactly the same.
Not exactly, no. But very
I would have to go back and listen to what they said. I know that they actually did touch on ray tracing specifically, and they said, obviously we're excited by it. At this time, we're not going to be putting it in because it is extremely detrimental to performance. But that they would look at it in the future and probably not implement it globally, because that would murder the game. But
and it would only work on planets.
probably use it situationally. And I think it's going to be, I think they can afford to wait too until, we have the DirectX version of ray tracing coming.
well, I thought they were not supporting DirectX, just Vulkan.
Well, I don't know how that works, but maybe Vulkan will. I honestly have no idea.
I mean, I've got such limited knowledge on it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
rendering engine in the game might well be using Vulkan. You're still running Windows, which uses DirectX, not Vulkan.
Oh my god, Shiver, what's happened to your voice? Is it just on my end?
I don't know.
Uh,
Oh, no, it's
What?
gone. Never mind. It's all good. You were a robot for a second there, Shiver.
Go ahead, Shiver.
Although the game itself might be using Vulkan to render things, you are still under Microsoft Windows, which uses DirectX for its own hardware purposes. And that's about as much as knowledge as I can say for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's where I was sort of like, can they use DirectX ray tracing in Vulkan and Star Citizen? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah,
Or it's very possible that Vulkan will just have considering it's Vulkan originated from AMD and AMD is going to be using ray tracing,
Again,
I'm
can I
suspecting
also
it'll
just
work.
say
it's
that, like,
actually really interesting that the way AMD want to do ray tracing is they want to hybridize it, from what I've heard, between having it rendered on the GPU and the CPU. And
That's because their
when it-
CPUs are incredibly powerful.
Yes, when you've got these AMD CPUs with like 24 threads, you're like, yeah, you use that bitch.
That's what and they've been working on that with Star Citizen 2, where they've been talking about with the going from like specifically this task uses this thread to basically containerizing jobs in the game, and any thread that's available can do that job, so that you can use all of the threads that a CPU has, which will be awesome because we're getting into CPUs very quickly that have like 32, you know.
can I also just
Yeah.
say that this clip that we're watching here of the fire propagation is just another of those like one of those things you'd never think, oh yeah, they have to do this because it will make the game better. It's just, no, they've just decided to do it, and then it's like,
Because it
oh,
will make the game.
I guess, yeah. I mean, having real fire propagation in a ship, and like the ship gets hit and there's fire, and you actually have to find it and put it out because it will spread along the whole, like, shit. You
Yep.
know?
Who needs that? You couple that with the other technologies that are going to be implemented, like, then you can start doing stuff that you do in FTL. Well, I'll just open the door while I'm in space.
Oh, yeah. But then you can
Yeah,
also have,
and you
like,
have to go.
it's an internal compartment. I can't open the door, and if we don't put out
Exactly.
this fire, it's going to burn through all our oxygen.
Or burn through the hull. I mean, yeah, it'll put itself out at that point, but then we have a huge hole in the hull.
It's just nuts. It's more nuts, is what I'm saying. Like,
It is. It's one of those great gameplay things, especially with multiplayer. Like a multi-crew ship. Like you can have those alarms going off. You know, this section is on fire, and then have someone go look at it, then go, oh yeah, you can just blow this door, and when we can vent it into space, or there can be like, yeah, I need more fire extinguishers, or you know, there's a lot of options.
or someone.
I
can
love
be-
this, though.
or
I want
you
to
can-
talk about this.
Yeah, I just want to finish my one point on the fire, because you can be like,
Yes.
we're all in a ship, and Shiver's yelling, no, don't vent. I'm trying to put out the fire, and you're like, well,
Don't have my helmet on yet.
vent.
So
Look, I
One
gotta
other thing
save the
that-
ship,
There is
man.
no fire. We know.
So they're basically looking to make the ground covering as good as essentially it looks as good as most not multiplayer games, I'll put it that way. They're working on their grass. One of the things I wanted to talk about with this is that it already looks really good. This is a prototype and also doesn't have any of the physics in yet, because they did say that the grass will physically respond to the player moving through, so it'll bend and move.
And it looks really good.
It looks great. What do you think, Shiver?
It's nuts. one of those. It's one of those things where even in single player games, having the blades of grass respond to you is nuts, because that means that these blades of grass have got to be entities in some way or form, rendered, react, and most people are just like, we want to save those resources and move them elsewhere. And Star Citizen are like, nope, fuck you.
Yep.
And
more specifically
they did
fuck your
also mention
GPU.
it will so it's going to respond physically. I think they also said that it will respond to the wind, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
They're nuts.
Yes, they're insane.
They
Yeah, I'm aware.
are just literally insane.
Is this being tied in with the you know they have that weird bubble around the player where it reacts to the terrain, so if you're going up a bumpy thing, it will try and place.
Oh, yeah.
you
They
in the
were
right places.
I don't know. They didn't mention it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was, only if it only happens locally to where the player is, instead of it happening all the time all across the server.
Because if that's how they're doing it, combine that with, because this is pure speculation on my part, and I could be entirely wrong here. In fact, I probably am, because most of the time I am. They could be combining that with the OCS tech, both client and server side, whichever. And so that way, when you've got a player that's still within sight and you would be able to see the grass being affected, you would see the grass being affected rather than it just being a localized thing only. And you think to yourself, that it was nuts before. Now it's just incredible.
So looks like they're getting some progress on some of the ships that I didn't actually think we'd see for a while. The Starlifter, the Star Runner.
The Mercury Star Runner is also a Crusader product, isn't it? Am I wrong with that?
Yes.
Who makes the Mercury Star Runner? Mercury Star
Crusader,
Runner.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, they've got the same.
Yes, it is.
The same livery
yeah,
and the same styles. So I think they're probably figuring out the.
You know why I think this got pushed forward is for probably, and I actually expect to see the Genesis as well and the other Crusader ships. I think that once they have, my brain just totally blanked. Once they have the landing zone at Crusader that I suddenly cannot remember the name of in the game. Can you guys remember what the hell it's called? The
Nope.
floating city?
Hey, Boston.
Oh my god. We
Orison,
collective.
thank you, Citizen
Thank you,
Tipitarius.
Orison. Thank you.
That
God.
was Citizen
brutal.
Tipitarius.
I talked about that last time I was on the show, and now it's gone out of my brain. Stupid brains.
Man, nothing sticks in my brain anymore.
So Orison is the whole story behind Orison is that it's a floating city in the atmosphere of Crusader, and it is also where they manufacture Crusader ships. You need to have Crusader ships.
Yeah.
Well,
and to be fair, I think they're also the Starlifter will likely be in Squadron 42. They don't have any other giant troop carrying ships, right?
And tank carrying ships.
And tank
like
carrying,
that's
right?
that's what that thing is designed to do.
So they're going to use that in
Sorry.
Squadron.
I heavily apologize. Tonk.
Much
My bad.
better. So they probably have to get it ready for Squadron. That's what I say anyway.
Yeah, and I think both things are true. And but it would be weird to have Orison and have the shipyards without actually showing them even like placeholders showing them building something. So yeah, I thought and both ships look great. The interiors are looking fantastic. And now we have Jared playing with the plushy snowboard penguin.
Did either of you order the plushie?
No.
I didn't. I greatly judge David for not ordering it. But
I actually think that it looks
okay.
ugly. I don't think it looks like a well-made stuffy that I could hand to my 10-month-old and it would survive.
10-year up, the 10-month-old or the plushie?
Both. Okay, what do you guys think about this damn ship?
The damn ship?
The new, the Tavaran.
The Avian Aggressor. I love this ship, like, a lot. To great lengths and extreme. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
You know what it looks like to me a lot?
A
The
bird.
ships in Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Like the front of it looks like the Nova Corps ships in Captain Marvel. But
I don't remember them well enough to say one or the other. So they talked about this ship a fair amount this week. These are what do you think about it before I go on, Shiv?
Mixed feelings about it. I think take it for what it is. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat looking. It's very unique in game, and the price point for what you get and the actual construction and look of it, I thought, oh, yeah, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. You know, considering some of the things are really expensive. And again, just as a reminder to everyone, you only need the most basic package, which is $45.
yeah.
So don't go nuts. You don't need to buy this. You can steal it in game. So
Or buy it.
right, but at the same time, on the other hand, you know, having spaceships that are in the shape of birds is probably really cliche at this point.
Well, it
looks-
is sort of the definition of the Tavaran, though. So they're all going to look like
That's
birds.
also true.
No, but here's my problem with that. Do we as humans have spaceships that look like humans?
We don't have
Ron does.
spaceships.
If we were to have a spaceship, would they look like a human?
No.
No.
And this doesn't really look like a bird, but it has avian influences.
It looks like a bird. It very much looks like a falcon diving. It's a diving falcon.
Yeah, it does.
Like
Yeah.
like completely. And I think it's a little too on the nose.
I like it. Wait, can you pause, or is that
No,
possible?
I cannot pause.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That bloom. I sat up on my couch when I was watching this, and I went, "What?" When they showed that, the wings are actually translucent. You can
Yeah.
see through them, and they glow bright green when the light shines through them, and it looks amazing.
It's very cool.
Very nice. I like it. I also think that they are a pretty good deal. That ship is a fast strike fighter. It is designed to get in and out very quickly. Has very heavy weapons on it. Gimbaled size 3s or fixed size 4s. And also the Shrike especially has a whole bunch of missiles. I think the Shrike has 24 missiles on board.
It's pretty good.
So you basically can go in and lay a beating and get the hell out of there, because they also said it has almost no armor.
Can I ask though, those two little long things coming out the backside? You can see them in most of the pictures. They're what? Why? What?
I don't know.
What
Ask
are
the
those?
guys who made it.
What are they?
I have no idea.
They don't look like they belong. They look like they're just there.
Styling? It's like the spoiler on a on a car. It doesn't do
Oh.
anything.
You know what? You know what spoilers are for?
I don't know. Looking like spoilers?
Being knocked off with sledgehammers.
Fair enough. Also,
If you tried that, Eris, you just hit yourself in the
Oh, I
head.
know. I was waiting
Yeah.
for that. Now.
so two more things I wanted to touch on with this ship.
Yep.
Absolutely love that they're going away from their comfort zone a little bit with the ejection. I think it's a really cool, unique feature where you don't only get you don't just get shot out into space in your spacesuit. You actually the whole cockpit separates from the ship and jettisons away, so you actually would still have flight controls and probably some thrusters and stuff. I think that's really cool. I also really love the entrance mechanism where the whole front of the ship opens up and you climb inside. and it's very Transformer-ish to me.
It just, as long as it goes ka-ka, ka-ka
No,
when it opens and ka-ka, ka-ka when it closes around you, then I'll be happy.
you can probably make that happen in voice attack.
So I seem to remember hearing that they're selling pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look, and I'll let you know in just a moment. How about we move on to the next clip, and I will inform people how it did. I actually did mark the start of its sale and crowdfunding sheet as well, so I should be able to tell very closely.
I just like the fact that when you buy one, you get a bill.
Oh god.
Shiver, I'm really, really tired of all your opinions.
Opinion? Oh, jeez. Wow.
I don't know
show's
what I'm
re-
going to say. I just wing it.
Help me.
No.
So I think it's fair to say it made about $1 million, which is not bad. A little over $1 million so far. Quite good for a $90 ship. I think it sold quite well. They let's see if they actually have surpassed it. No, I think they probably have. Yep. This is now 2020 is now officially the biggest year for crowdfunding for Star Citizen. They are now at like $49 million, somewhere in that
midway
range.
through August.
Yep. They are at $48.8 million midway through August.
So 3/4 of the year, and they've beaten everything.
It's not even 3/4 of the year.
I know. That's
the end of September.
Yeah, sorry, 2/3 through the year.
Yeah, that's about right.
2/3. Sorry, it's nuts. We've known that they're doing real-time motion capture for a while.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for years. But this was newer scenes that were shot.
Yeah.
Something that Jake pointed out to us and is really awesome is that one of the actors in this clip was Yara from Game of Thrones, and who I should probably have the actress's name. There we go. That is Gemma Whelan, and it is. I don't know. It was really nice to see some Squadron stuff. I know it wasn't like groundbreaking, but I think it was. I think it helps, at least in my brain. You know.
I'm wondering how much of this stuff are they going to fit into the persistent universe as well, of this kind of interaction happening while you're out in the verse. Because, I mean, most MMOs, NPCs are static, right? Like,
yep, generally, because it's too hard to make them not static.
How much of this are they going to have in?
This stuff, I think, is mostly Squadron, except that in order to make Squadron work, they have to do. I think they said they had something like 38,000 animations or something now. In order to make Squadron look good, they will have a gajillion like character animations, and those will very likely make the trek across to Persistent Universe. As somebody mentioned the other day that they noticed that they have a butt grab animation for when you get shot in the butt. That it's actually already in the PU.
Look, that's good, right? You need one of those. But
yeah, of course. If you get shot in the butt, you need to grab your butt.
Do they have an idle animation where you're just sort of standing there and you just, give it a scratch? Because
I mean, they should. They should.
Need to.
Yeah. I really liked that they actually did show the scene at the end, like the fully in the game scene.
Yeah. They
did, of course, thankfully, put the disclaimer up there that it wasn't finished. It was an animation preview of what the animations look like. But I don't know. They said they were going to do this for a long time, and I know they did kind of a little bit of Squadron stuff, but this was much better, in my mind. Anyway,
It's still not an update, but yeah.
it's not an update on the status of Squadron, but they said they were going to integrate more Squadron content, and this is that.
I hate to ask this question, but officially, is Squadron still slated for beta later this year? Officially,
did they take it down yet or not? I don't think we don't have any. What was that?
They need to take that down at this point.
Yes, it's still up and it needs to come down.
Oh, hey, tip.
I mean, the community knows that. Oh, thank you. The community knows that it's not coming, but it shouldn't be publicly out there that it still says
While
that.
it's up there, it's just a screaming example of this is how bad we communicate.
While it's up there,
Yep.
it's just this going on.
They honestly should just take it off. Just remove the Squadron 42 roadmap they could even have it still clickable, but have a thing that banners up there that says new version of the roadmap coming, in the future. But
Citizens.
the existing one up there, I don't think has been updated in like a year.
Yeah, it needs an update. Like,
Yeah. Hello, Soul Citizens. Soul
what do you
Citizens
guys
is tomorrow.
I mean, we already discussed the fire propagation, but
No, we should watch this.
Oh,
so
well,
I want to talk. I
we'll
want to
watch
talk
it.
about this in great detail.
okay.
So this is from Star Citizen Live this week. And I think this is from Star Citizen Live this week. Is that the clip that you're playing?
Yeah.
CSCL Live one? Yeah, okay. I was also like doing dishes and stuff while I was watching this, so I don't have the whole thing memorized. But I just love this section. So it's all voxelized fire. Every voxel has material properties. So if it has like a table in it, then it has, hey, this voxel has this much wood in it, and it has this much plastic and this much whatever, and each of those different materials has different properties as it relates to fire. So how much smoke they produce, whether there's another visual effect. I think the plant gives off ash when it's burning. They said all the visuals are currently very placeholder. They're just basically working on the technical part of the propagation, not the actual visual part. As you notice there, also when the fire really gets going, the entire room gets foggy and smoky, which is really neat. The way that it propagates is by radiation. In this but in this way it was like IR radiation. So basically heat gets transmitted from one voxel to another, and then eventually it catches on fire. And yeah, it's fascinating the work that they're doing on this. They also said that it would be affected by gravity, by the atmosphere, and it will all work differently.
I'm really excited to see what they decide that fire in space looks like.
In Zero G?
In Zero G.
Well, believe it or not, we're actually just sort of learning that right now in real life.
I know.
NASA has been doing experiments over the last year or so, and I think they have another one coming up this year, like later this year, where they're actually setting things on fire in space, which they have avoided doing for like the last 50 years.
In fairness, can you imagine that? Like being the person who has to do that experiment, you just suddenly get this radio call from Earth. Okay, now set it on fire.
You didn't give me anything to set it on fire. Damn it. There is actually, like, one of the experiments they're doing, because they don't want to do it on the ISS and because they're worried that it would, cause an actual major fire, is actually being done. One of the experiments is being done on like a separate satellite, and it just has like video cameras pointed at this fire that they're going to start inside of it. Oh my god.
Jeez, Griffin.
Thank you, Griffin Gaming.
Thank you, Griffin.
Question about that, actually.
So,
Why don't
yeah.
they just send up an empty dragon and pay to
'Cause
have
it-
the inside of a dragon set on fire while it's remote?
Because a Dragon spacecraft is about $300 million.
I mean,
Whereas a tiny little like CubeSat is like $100,000.
what is money when it comes to science? Something that science doesn't have. I know. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you also notice they did show a little bit here of like a spray that is putting out the fire, and they're
Yeah.
basically talking about how that just removes the heat from that voxel so that it's no longer on fire. That's how that works right now.
So
I don't know. The whole thing is fascinating to me.
the interesting thing about all this fire stuff that they're doing is, and I know they've been doing like wear and tear shaders for everything. They're now going to need various levels of burnt and charred shaders for
Yep.
everything. And then those will have to appear based on the fire and only where the fire propagated and at an intensity equal to the intensity of the heat at each vox. It's going to be...
They've already requested. I haven't heard about the char ones yet, but they've already requested a glow shader for all that can be used for any items. So, and this actually came up when they were doing the reentries of the ships. They don't quite look right yet because they want the hull to actually glow red when you're going in, and it
Right.
doesn't do it right now. But yeah, they talked about that in this episode too. How they're asking for a glow shader so that they can make things glow when they're red hot.
But they're also going to need...
And yes, they're going to need a char shader,
But they're
a
also gonna
completely
need to
burnt
add,
to shit
like,
shader.
damage states too,
Yeah.
like interior damage states to interior objects, and not normal game of you shoot it and it breaks apart, right? Because that's how normal games deal with objects. They have it intact, and then you shoot it and it breaks, and it normally always breaks the same way, right? But they're not going to be able to do that because they're going to need it when you shoot it and break it. But they're also going to need it when it's like there's just exponential expansion every time I see them do something like this, and it's like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yep.
Now you know why they have 600 people working on this.
Oh,
game.
I know. It's like they need another 40 people for the fire just because they've added fire.
They need another
propagation.
42 people for the fire.
Yeah, fair.
I just went and looked, and I went and looked this week, and there are just tons of job openings, even
Well,
just at Wilmslow.
And they've got the money for it, clearly.
This year is going really well. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
So
good.
what did we do with all your money this year? Put it in fire.
All right, fair.
Can I do a
Oh,
quick side
boy.
note?
Oh, you can do 17 side notes if you would like.
I only have one. But tomorrow, tune in to twitch.tv/Soul Citizens to catch the very kind Griffin Gaming. They're going to be talking about trading starships. That's tomorrow in probably your hemisphere at 8 p.m. ET.
Yep.
Go do it.
Go watch. What do we have next, David?
We have, I think there's 2 more videos.
There's at least the 2 I sent you. I don't
Yeah.
think you've played either of them yet.
No, that's what I'm playing now.
Cool. Well, these ones actually have audio, if you want to play it.
I suppose I can. Sorry, that might have been loud.
For the purposes of the audio podcast, pew 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 pew.
Yeah. So this is the 310 trailer, and it just looked cool, so I decided to complete turret control.
How have you tried any turrets? How do they feel? Actually, like
I'm mining, man. I got no
yeah, I
turrets.
guess. Just mining.
No, I haven't tried them yet. I'll take out my. I should take out my freelancer and just try jumping in the turret.
You should. I'm
Go ahead.
again, I'm really excited to build this new rig and see the new GPUs and get one and get it all set up and actually jump into Star Citizen, because it's been a while. Like there have been some improvements since the last time I played, and I'm actually excited to try and play it. You know?
Subtle plug again. I've been lurking and watching Kemi65 play because I fucking love him, and the energy and enthusiasm he has for Star Citizen is a breath of fresh air. And there's so much more in this game now. So much more. It's and you see these people say, "Oh, this is never going to be completed. They haven't done anything." It's like, am I seeing something that doesn't have to be? I mean, what?
There's a reason that this show is still happening every week-ish when we can because of COVID. After what, 5 years? Like we have to be actually one of the longer running Star Citizen podcasts at this point.
Oh, I would
No one said
imagine.
anything about running.
We're running. Yeah, right. I mean, we're running longer than any of the single shows that CIG's done too.
That's true. We've outlasted all of CIG's shows. But like, I very much have this stance with a lot of like early access games, and for all intents and purposes, this is early access. It's
Yes,
an
it is.
alpha, right?
The king of early access.
But it's like, play a bunch, love it, then stop playing. Give it a month or 2 or 3 or in some cases 12, and then
Yeah.
hop in, and it's a completely new game, right? There's just, and it's like, man, I couldn't do this or this, and you start a new game and you go from the beginning, and it's just, you get to re-experience all those, like, oh man, and
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I've played Star Citizen 12 or 15 hours in the last 2 weeks. Like, there's a lot of I'm having fun playing. That's why, and you know, I'm learning how, because a lot of things change from patch to patch, and I haven't played in a couple of patches, so I'm relearning a whole bunch of things. Learning like manual control for VTOL, and because very important in the Prospector, you do need to switch back and forth from VTOL mode to not VTOL mode, or else you will crash. And yeah, it's you know, it's great to just re-experience the game every once in a while.
yeah.
But yeah, I can't
Love to see
imagine
what new
playing
bugs
all the
there
time.
are.
Yes, there are always new bugs. Always. There's also some old bugs too that just are always there.
Persistent. They're persistent.
I mean, that's the inherent problem with the way that they're doing it. Of, you know, well, we've had this bug here for X amount of time simply because we haven't had time, you know, they haven't had time to go back onto the system and say, well, at some point, this new thing's going to be implemented, which will not only eliminate this bug, but make the whole system that we're currently using completely obsolete. So there's no point spending actual development time fixing this bug when somewhere down the line we're going to be completely chucking a whole system out and doing something new anyway.
Yeah.
But you and I don't see that. We just see this bug's been here for 2 years. What the fuck, CIG?
But also, and actually, that's something that I kind of want to talk about now, because why not? Why don't we see that? That would be something
That's a fair point.
Why don't they tell, like, some of those long running bugs? Why aren't they just like, yeah, this bug here, we know that it's there, but it's going to be replaced when we implement this system, so we're not touching it. So it's a known bug, but like give us that, because we know that it's there.
But when she
So-
tried the third share,
I mean,
The
it's
Rock
still
commercial.
not the most buggiest game on the planet because
No.
Earth Defense Force, as we all know, holds that.
Oh my god, I love that
she
game.
found
And yes,
that it was
buggy as shit, but it's amazing.
just
The Rock, what do you think?
right.
So this ship came about, this ground vehicle came about out of last year's CitizenCon. It was voted on
Yeah.
in a live panel. Which ship do you want? And this one, or which vehicle do you want? And this one won. And so we're here in August the following year, and here it is. It's in the game. So what do you think?
I would have chosen something else, but mining was big, so.
Mining works as an actual mining works as an actual profession right now too,
Yeah.
which is a big thing. And a lot of people like mining. The mining, and they've actually, I'm actually impressed at how much depth it has right now. Like, you do need to upgrade your mining laser now if you want to mine everything. You can't
good.
mine everything with the default prospector. Default prospector limits out based on what the type of rock you're trying to mine is, based on how big the actual rock is that you're trying to break. Based on what it contains. These are all things that affect whether or not you can even, fracture that rock with your mining laser. And then, of course, they have the consumables for the mining laser, which allow you to boost its capability briefly. There's a whole bunch of depth to that gameplay.
How well is all that explained?
It is pretty well explained, actually. They keep using the tooltip thing.
Okay.
The tooltip thing in the bottom of the screen, if you're mining something that you can't fracture, it will tell you your mining laser isn't good enough to break this rock, basically.
Because I've actually been thinking about that as well. Of you think about something like, I don't know, World of Warcraft, and there's a dozen jobs, but they all sort of amount to click on thing to collect it, and there's not
click on
much,
thing to craft it.
Yeah, there's not much of it, and they still have tutorial missions to explain to you how to craft. Star Citizen is going to have those kinds of. If you want to start a mining career, here's someone to show you how to mine and show you how. Your first salvage job is going to have to be a tutorial, and they're going to have to make essentially tutorials for every single job in Star Citizen.
Yep. That can take the place of early missions too.
Yeah.
Do this mining mission and it will explain to you how to mine. You know. But yeah, right now they're just using the tooltips at the bottom to explain when things are going weird or that you overcharged a rock or like that.
According to rumor, they're going to have 7 people teaching you how to mine who are sort of challenged height-wise.
Oh dear. Do they have?
As long as they sing songs.
The other thing is they have rocks that are intended to be mined by ground vehicles like the Rock. They also have rocks that are intended to be mined by hand mining with the hand laser thing. I
can't wait to see Dwayne Johnson out there with a pick and.
I mean, there is one inherent problem with the Rock, though.
What's that?
It's beaten by paper.
So if you put a sheet of paper inside your rock, would it just vanish? Just vanish,
Can't
right?
do anything. You need.
It just deactivates it. Okay, it just deactivates it.
You need to get a pair of scissors to get rid of the paper.
Oh, okay. And then you're okay.
Apparently, yeah, that's how it works.
I see.
We have not a single question.
Oh my god. Well, that's like a half an hour of singing. That's a lot.
Flashcart, save us! You are our only hope.
Generally, day to day, he is our only hope. There's lots more we can talk about, though.
Oh, there is. I got a question. Cause.
No.
Oh no. Okay.
Go ahead.
We saw what, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, they told us about the how they were going to redo. They gave us the roadmap to the roadmap. That was 4 weeks ago now, wasn't it?
No. 2.5 weeks ago.
2.5.
It's the week before. It was the last week we had a show. We talked about it.
So 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah. I think it happened during that week prior. So.
How long do you think until we get a a countdown to the reveal of the date for the
Okay, let's actually go
launch
back and look
of
look
the-
at what Xylo said about it.
I want a counter.
I can-
I want like an official Star Citizen on RSI countdown to the date when they will reveal the launch date for the new Squadron 42 roadmap.
No.
I think Stevie Madman's correct.
All right,
Nothing
here.
until Virtual Citizen
So here is the deal with it. Oh my God! Please, there we go. Loading Spectrum. So I don't think they have promised anything right away.
No, they didn't.
Oh, actually, they did, and they didn't do it. So that's
Oh wait,
about right.
really? What did they
Um,
promise?
Well, I don't know. I don't like the term "in the immediate future" because it means like 3 seconds from now. They
Well,
use the
what
term
is
"in
it?
the immediate."
What is it that they promised in the immediate future?
They said, "In the immediate future, we plan on delivering the following communications: give an explanation of the goals of our new roadmap and what to expect from it. Show a rough mock-up of the proposed new roadmap. Share a work-in-progress version of it for at least one of the core teams, and then finally transition to the new roadmap."
Okay, so I mean, yeah, some of that shouldn't take 2 weeks.
No, the give an explanation of the goals. No, that should have
No.
been like the day after.
Yeah.
What they did say is that each of those 4 steps, there will be a few weeks between them. So that's like more than 2.
Okay, so a few is 3, so we should get it this week.
Well, it's like 3 to 7. So, but yes, I don't know. It's
I thought
going to be a
7
while.
is several.
Well, no.
Because a couple
think
is
they have
2,
defined
a few
definitions.
is 3 or 4, 5 to 8-ish is several.
Few means a small number of.
Are we really getting into these? Do we? This is the.
Yes, this is where
big
we're
problem
at.
that CIG have put us in, of where it's got to the point now where it's like we are so starved of information on this open development game that we're now having to look up the definition of a few, and then when it's been slightly longer than a few, people are going to be like, "Oh my god,
Okay, but there's a very specific reason I'm asking this, and Stevie Madman actually sort of hit it on the head of they're not going to show us anything till Virtual Sitcon Lite, whatever format that takes. I don't want that. I
Why not?
don't, because I think that trotting out... I don't want them to trot out the a new Squadron 42 roadmap at CitizenCon as sort of a, hey, look, we did a good. Look at the good we did. It's a roadmap. That's something that we should just have.
Mm-hmm.
By default.
What if- being completely strangely out of character as well, non-cynical.
Are you
What if
okay?
They suddenly, I don't know. I woke up at 4:30 this morning after very little sleep. What if they're rolling out or saving it for CitizenCon, because it's not just going to be the roadmap to the roadmap, but it's going to be like, so this is it. This is the final thing. This is the definitive date that we're aiming for to get this
Yeah.
shipped
They
out.
can't.
I-
They
They
can't.
don't want to do it
They can't.
because they'll miss it.
They'll miss it so. They'll miss it so hard.
They won't put a
One
date
time
on.
that I'm not cynical, and everyone's like, nope.
Yeah, no. Nope. So I just wanted to mention. So there are 2 things in here. That was the roadmap part. There's also the update video that they basically made and then scrapped because they didn't like it. And then they're remaking it. That is also apparently coming. What he said was the Squadron 42 video is still coming, probably in the next few weeks, along with an assortment of other updates, including an overhaul to our public roadmap. So yeah.
So I want to see that this week. Then that's 3 weeks. That's a few weeks.
Except
I'm
a few
gonna
doesn't
hold-
mean 3 though. so he can say whatever it means.
No, but we should see something this week, even if it's just the explanation of what the new roadmap is intended to do.
Yeah, I would hopefully like to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up again because
Yeah.
it's important.
On the plus side, Fastcart and Tipitarius have asked some questions.
Yes, I know. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
at those. You can always ask us
One thing I've always wondered though,
more questions.
why is on the little tab for the question sheet we have, why is there a weird green and white Finnish flag?
What? Where?
Do you not
Oh.
see the...
That also
On the tab.
means spreadsheet.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It's just the Google Sheets spreadsheet icon. Apparently it's a... Okay. Fastcart asks, can we give the moose a pico?
I mean, we should.
Maybe
Whether or not
maybe-
David wants to do it is an open question.
Yeah, maybe next week Moose will be joined by... But Pico doesn't rhyme with moose or loose.
Neither does Penguin, so yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Who is getting a Pico and how many? From Fastcart. David's not getting one because he thinks they look like crap.
I don't think that they are a well-made stuffy. Look, the world of stuffies is, as any parent knows,
So judgmental.
there are varying levels of quality, and some of the indicators that I saw on the Pico plushie indicated to me that it is not a very high quality stuffy. Okay?
Okay.
Stitching visible, there's all these little... they don't look good. They don't look like they're well made.
But
They look like...
David, he's holding a snowboard.
They look like a stuffy that you'd find in one of those crane games, but not like one at an amusement at somewhere reputable. It looks like one of those crane games that you'd find at like a mall.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm just giving you crap because, well, that's part of my job.
And Shiver's gonna go find a stuffy that he got from a crane game. I do love that Shiver, pessimistic person, is sitting on a Happy Lemon pillow. That's a hedgehog. But that hedgehog looks like a higher quality
From a crane game in a mall.
in Japan.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole different ball game there.
Japan. Yeah, Japan has higher quality everything
Whole different ball game. I'm talking
except weather.
a crane game in like Canada. We don't do crane games here.
At least not properly.
Tipitarius asks, the Rock doesn't come with a sealed cabin. Given CIG's intent to restrict suits in seats, do you think that it will greatly limit the Rock's utility on inhospitable worlds, or do you think they'll cheat and say this one seat you can wear heavy protective armor? I don't think that you're going to need... Like, heavy armor is heavy for combat. It's like reinforced plates to stop bullets.
Yeah.
I don't... protective suits aren't going to be... They won't be classified the same as heavy armor, I don't believe.
No, I don't think so at all. I think that you will probably have to wear a. Also, why is the cabin not sealed? It's closed. Maybe they could just seal the cabin. Oh, I see. It has the weird mesh on the sides of it. That's strange. That's a weird design choice.
Well, heavy armor...
Wait a second. It has to be sealed because in the commercial she's not wearing a helmet on the inside. Oh, I guess unless the planet has breathable atmosphere. All right. Well, that's weird. It's weird all around. I think they'll probably just seal the cabin of the rock. That's my guess.
They could make it so, because everything's modular, that it's an upgrade, that there is a sealed cabin later on down the line.
Yeah, they totally could. Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. I aren't they supposed to just add tons and tons of different protective suits at some
Yes, they
point?
are. Yeah, and that might
Yeah.
be the answer. Absolutely, that might be the answer for sure.
Like there's supposed to be different suits for every different type of environment that they'll add, but most of those won't be heavy, bulky things. They'll be slimmer and yeah.
And, often
And
they'll
they
protect
showed
you
that in the.
if you are shot.
Do you remember in the Carrack they actually have like a room with a bunch of like slots for different armors because you'll need a ton of them to
Yeah.
go in all the different planetary environments.
Yeah. You're not hopping in
so-
a rock to go get in a gunfight. Right?
So there's a question coming up here that requires a picture, so I'm sending you the picture, David.
Okay. Tip also asks, did the 600i deserve to be set on fire? And why is the answer yes? Well, I mean, because the 600i is a bourgeois ship that down with the Republic.
The Republic.
Something, the 1%. Look, it's an ugly ship by a horrible ship manufacturer. Origin is really
You
bad.
suck.
It was a very naughty 600i. It pretended to be the Messiah, and therefore it deserved to be burned.
Okay, look, if you want the real
But
story,
in reality, it was not the Messiah. It was just a very naughty ship.
if you want the real story, the base got their hands on that 600i and had one of their parties in it, and this was the only way that they could sterilize it.
I do a show on the base. I can confirm that's true.
Yep. Fastcart asks, regardless of their quality, it seems like more people than expected bought Pico. I don't think these amounts are on the crowdfunding page. How many Pico do you think were ordered?
So merchandise does count towards crowdfunding. Something that was clarified a long time ago, but I don't think a lot of people know. Now, although what they said is that they only include the profit they make off of the item, not the item's full cost, because a lot of times they don't make very much off of those items. Whereas, digital starships are pretty much...
Wait, you're saying that they don't have to pay to send those JPEGs to us?
No, not really.
Travis.
So... How many Picos do I think they sold? I'm guessing a couple
10.
thousand. I'm guessing a couple thousand.
I'm going to guess way too damn many. Like, more than
They should have.
they should have. Yeah. I'm guessing more than they should have.
You know what? And I'm guessing those were probably going to be saved for CitizenCon this year and sold there. But they're like, well, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Oh boy.
They missed out on a slight marketing opportunity to sell those over here in Japan.
You can buy,
all
you're in
familiar with
Japan.
the
You
Pen
can buy them.
Pineapple Apple song, apart from Eris. So Eric, you're familiar with Pen Pineapple Apple Pen?
Nope.
What the fuck? Are you even on the internet?
Yes, I'm on the internet.
Well, that
You need
song
to-
was very popular at one point, and it was done by a Japanese comedian called Pikataro. And they could have had Pikataro selling Pico over here, and people would be like, yes, I fucking want that. They don't need to know where it comes from, but that would then pique their interest and get them in there. But it would have worked. Trust me. it
You should
would
send
work.
this. You should send this as an. You should send this to CIG and be like, dude, come on, let's do this.
Got a way to penetrate the Japanese market here. We know it's a very difficult market to get into.
Definitely make sure you use the word penetrate repeatedly.
Oh, I do. I do.
Oh my. What is our next question? Our next question is about the thing I just sent you.
Yeah. Who wants from Fastcart? Who wants an $80 messenger bag? It's only $10 more than Eve's monocle.
The messenger bag looks nice. I probably wouldn't pay $80 for it. It is a chairman. It's concierge only merchandise item. It looks pretty nice. It's like a leather bag. It's reinforced. Yeah, it's got the chairman's logo on it. It's fine. The messenger bag I bought for 20 Canadian dollars on the clearance sale. So spending spending $80 US, which is about $120 Canadian, seems excessive. Plus shipping.
I mean, I feel like... Wait, there we are. I feel like most of CIG's merch that they put up is overpriced.
Now it is.
Well,
It used to
I
be
don't know how
fine.
long Yeah, the t-shirts were quite good. I don't know what they're like now, though.
Too expensive.
mean-
$80 for a friggin' short sleeve button up.
Yeah, button up was weird.
No.
What's that about?
No.
Yeah, a lot of their merch has gotten much more
$30
expensive.
for a
so.
ballpoint pen. I could get other things that I probably can't mention on Twitch for $30.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could get for $30. I could do other things to my balls than point to them.
Oh my. Oh my.
So, folks, now that the show has officially gone completely off the rails,
I mean, we
How y'all
started
doing?
there, let's be honest.
yeah, well, that's a good point. We started off the rails before we even went live. It was something.
Come on, $30 for a ballpoint pen with a Star Citizen logo. That is
No.
excessive. I mean,
Too much.
I've seen expensive ballpoint pens, but they are literally, they have like 24 karat gold inlays, and there's some limited edition things that you're like, okay, that's definitely not for me, because. But $30 just for.
But Shiver, it has twist action.
Yeah, but so does the X52 and the X52 Pro, and you can get that cheaper than $80.
Oh my god. Oh,
I mean,
I love it.
hey, everyone, you've reached pretty much the end of our show. Where
No
we've
way.
devolved
I have
into-
more to say.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Because I don't.
You don't have any more to say? You got nothing? You're done?
No, I got this is.
That's another problem. Who uses a pen anymore?
Yeah. I mean, Star Citizen is. I mean, I haven't been on in a couple weeks due to COVID and due to just life and things and this show and you guys and everyone in the chat and Star Citizen, everyone's exactly where I left you, and it's kind of nice. Come back and
Yes, Shiver.
nothing-
Yes, I always do stream from this room. So, No, I'm not elsewhere yet.
everyone's exactly where I left them.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Griffin Gaming. Speaking of the pen being worth $250 in 10 years, I'll be right back. This is completely off topic, but I need to show you something.
Excellent. That's excellent. I like off topic. Something that I want to talk about that's actually Star Citizen related One of the things that I realized is quite a burden in Star Citizen right now is that you have to. Oh my god!
I'm back. Are you
Hi.
ready? Are you ready for this?
No.
So, my mom showed up yesterday with a bunch of boxes from her basement.
Yep.
And was like, "Here, these are yours." And one box was, a bunch of pictures. One was all of my school books, grades 1 through 6. And
Oh my.
all of the projects I'd ever handed. Anyway, weird. And some Lego, which is great. But I found some other things. One is a folder of my Pog collection.
That's awesome. I love Pog.
In there, I found this, which is a little booklet with a complete
Ooh.
set of Batman Forever
Pogs.
Pogs. The complete set of Batman Forever Pogs.
That's amazing. How much is that worth,
I
David?
don't know.
Okay, we're gonna do a live search on our show. What are the Batman Forever? It's gonna be like $5,000.
There was this time I bought many a year ago a Star Trek customizable card game limited edition set called the Fajo Collection, and they said guaranteed to increase in price and all this sort of thing, and it was all hand printed cards, came with a bit of bubble gum on one of them and all sorts of various things, and it's actually worth less now than when I paid for it.
Yep.
Oh dear. Okay, so no one on eBay seems to have the actual full collection. But the Nicole Kidman one on its own, unsealed, is being sold for $3. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
That's hilarious. My lord.
It's the full collection.
You know what happened to my friend? Me and my friend used to go to this. Me and my whole friend group really used to go to this comic and game store in Calgary called Revolution Games and Music. It was an awesome place. One of my friends worked there at the time, and we just buy shit because we were teenagers, and that's sort of how you do things. And my buddy bought this dragon, but it wasn't just a normal dragon. It was actually a D&D branded dragon. And it was quite large. It was like this big, and it was sealed in a box. And he just forgot about it, and he never took it out of the box. And then he found it again when he moved, like a couple of years ago, and he went and looked on eBay. It's like $1,500 or $2,000 now for that dragon, because it's official D&D merchandise, and they haven't made it in like over a decade. And so it's like this incredibly, like, he bought it for like, I think he said he paid like $60 for it, and it's now worth like $1,500.
That's pretty good.
Like, okay, all right, very nice. But yeah, one of the things I was going to talk about with Star Citizen is that when you're mining, and this was something I had to remind myself of because I hadn't played in a while. When you're mining, you can't sell things to any normal trading console when you come back with your mining ship. You have to go to a refinery to refine your metal, and sell it to the refinery instead. There are not very many refineries. There's one on New Babbage. There's one in ArcCorp, Area 18. There's one in Port Olisar, I believe. And there's like one other one. There are very few. This like totally changed my understanding of the importance in my mind of the refinery deck edition that they're going to be putting onto some of the space stations. So I'm like, please, I don't want to go all the way down to the planet's surface to sell my stuff because it's so hard. Mostly because I was mining all in the Microtech system, like just the moons surrounding Microtech. So I had to go back to New Babbage and remember where I talked about how hard it is to land at New Babbage with the Prospector.
I mean,
yeah.
What they really need is a what's it called? the beacons. You need to be able to set a beacon being like, I have this much ore of this.
Mhm.
Come get it and sell it.
That is the eventual gameplay design of the prospector. Is those inflatable, expandable ore bags on the side will actually be able to be attached. Detached and dropped off. And the hull B and the hull A can both pick them up and attach them. And you can work with those ships, and you don't have to stop mining. You can just drop them and then tell people where they are, and they'll pick them up and go sell them. And it makes for a really excellent two-player sort of experience there.
Yeah, and it's like that's the stuff that I'm. When it's done, I've just got this dream of like, Cass doesn't like most games. What she wants to do in a game is mine stuff. She wants to just go into a cavern and mine stuff and sell it and fix up a nice little house.
Perfect.
Star Citizen needs the ability to do one, set yourself up a nice little homestead.
Yep.
Outside a mine. Have some farms going, decorate the inside. Wife goes off into the mine, works all day, comes back, just deposits her stuff out of the rock. You take it off and sell it, come back with some, like, just. And
This is part of what Chris Roberts is talking about, where he could foresee players playing almost entirely on one planet, right?
Yeah.
Where you have your base and you have you go and mine, and then you go and occasionally will fly over to the city to sell stuff, and like that type of deal. But it did really solidify in my mind how important that refinery deck thing that they're going to add to the space stations is. Unfortunately, I realized that right after they took it off the roadmap because they need to do additional work on it. But I'm very much looking forward to whenever that. Oh no, it is back on the roadmap. It's in 3.12, so it's coming in Q4. But I'll be looking forward to that in extreme ways, because being able to mine and sell things without having to land in a major landing zone will be awesome.
It's important. So quick before we go, Shiver. When's your show?
2 hours.
2 hours from now. Table of Horrors.
2 hours on twitch.tv/Table of Horrors, all one word. We're going to be doing Vampire the Masquerade. It's going to be fun and interesting, I hope. And while I'm here, I'm going to put Nakara on the spot. Do we have you for Star Trek this month?
It's the next Saturday, right?
Oh, fuck, is it? Shit.
Yeah, it is. I think it's next Saturday. Yes, I'll be in.
So tune into that next week. That's going to be a hell of a fucking busy week for me. We've got Nakara and Stormy and Canadian Syrup at the very least. Oh, and Nighthawk Zale. He's joined us.
Excellent.
So all I need to do now is write the fucking game.
Good luck.
Thanks. I have to say, for Star Trek Adventures, I have spent 8 days sat there making macros and learning different things, bringing in API scripts. So instead of clicking on character sheet and stuff like that, you can now click one single button and it plays a noise and gives you all the calculations. And I'm sat there and I'm like, oh yeah. And you're just going to be all like, oh, look, I can do shit. And I'm just going to be like, fucking children.
Yes, that is exactly how you respond.
I cut this out today.
Okay.
And this is going to go right underneath this.
Ooh.
And there will be light that shines through it.
Very nice. I like it.
And it'll be mounted on the wall. Anyway. That's it. Eric, anything from you?
Yeah, I should probably. There is a couple things coming up here. I'm going to try and get my shit in order. Hey, if you ever want to check the schedule for rocket launches, rocketlaunch.live. There you go. Falcon 9 launches Starlink 11 on the 18th, early in the morning, 8:31 a.m. my time, I believe it is. So, local time in Eastern time, it is 10:31 a.m. And then that's about it for this week. And so check out Starlink. And it's actually a launch today. Holy crap! Oh my god! In 35 minutes, there is a launch. I will drop it into the Space Race channel in our Discord.
Awesome.
Other than that, I don't have anything.
Well,
Except Tuesday game show.
Yep.
Always, we're talking about games and stuff.
Yep. Tune in for episode 7 of Games Show.
We've already
Tuesday.
done 7 of those.
Yeah.
God, that's awesome. Hey, we actually managed to start a new show that's sticking because we enjoy doing it so much.
Yeah. So tune in for that. And thanks for coming out. And come back next week for more Relay Station. Bye-bye,
Yes.
all.
Oh.